Alrighty, folks, without further ado, let's get ready to kick this puppy off. So we're starting today off with diving. So a little bit different from what we're used to. So instead of diving being at the middle, we're going to be starting off. Diving's typically the middle, but today we're going to be starting off with diving. We have Isabella Schaeffer starting off first. So, we're going to be starting quieter than we typically do.
Starling for Cheltenham. Diving fifth is Grace Lynch for PW.
I suppose this is to try to assembly line the meet a little bit quicker. Try not to take too much momentum out of the swimmers from both sides, having to do extra breaks and warm-ups and such. So coming into this meet, Plymouth Whitemarsh boys team is 7-3, and the girls team is 3-7. The girls team actually has a new coach this year, so obviously maybe some growing pains. Obviously with a new coach, they lost a couple seniors last year, so definitely some impacts were felt from the graduating class of last year. The boys, not quite as dominant as last year, but still doing pretty good. So again, diving first for Plymouth Whitemarsh, this will be Isabella Schaeffer. She's a senior, looking to, again, try to cap off a great year here. She actually is she's a gymnast, so very talented Bella. She's also a cheerleader, does club, and very talented athlete. She's doing a 1.7 difficulty dive.
Awards.
We now await her score.
4, 5, 5.
She's a 4, a 5, and a 5. Solid start for Schaeffer.
Melena's first dive will be a 5111A forward dive, half twist, degree 1.8.
Melena with a 1.8 difficulty dive here for Cheltenham. She quickly goes into that dive, tries to get her momentum going quickly into the pool. We will now await her score.
3.5, 4.5.
3.5, 3.5, 4.5.
Haley's first dive will be a 5122D forward dive, 1 somersault, 1 twist in the free position, degree 1.8.
Haley McCourt now with a 1.8 difficulty dive. Haley actually a gymnast as well. I believe she'll score pretty well here on her first dive.
4, 5, 4.
She scores a 4, a 5, and a 4. Solid
Grace's
start there
first
for
dive
McCourt.
will be a 5221D, back 1 somersault, half twist, degree 1.7.
Grace the 1.7 difficulty dive here.
Awards.
We will now await her score.
4, 4, 4.
4s all across the board here, so 4, 4, 4 there.
Grace's first dive will be a 5221D, back dive, 1 somersault, half twist in the free position, degree 1.7.
Grace Lynch now with a 1.7 difficulty dive.
Awards.
Grace again qualified for districts
4.5,
already.
4, 3.5.
She scores a 4, 4.5, and a 3. Or I believe a 3.5. Always a little bit hard on that first dive.
Will be a 5122D, front 1 somersault, 1 twist, degree 1.8.
Here's a 1.8 difficulty dive for Cheltenham. I believe she will score well on that dive. She kept her form pretty straight.
6, 7, 5.5.
6, 7, 5.5. The highest scores that we have had so
Foster's
far.
first dive will be a 51-11A front dive, half twist, degree 1.8.
Foster with a 1.8 difficulty dive here.
Awards.
Foster slanted towards the end. We'll see here how they score him.
3, 2.5, 3.
3, 2.5 into 3 there for Foster of Cheltenham.
James's first dive will be a 51-31D forward dive, 1.5 somersault, half twist in the free position, degree 1.8.
James with a 1.8 difficulty dive here. Got some air there for James. We'll now wait his score.
2, 4, 4.5.
2, 4, and a 4.5. It's a little bit of a
Andrew's
wide
first
range
dive
there.
Will be a 51-11A front dive, half twist, degree 1.8.
Andrew with another 1.8 difficulty dive here. And he lands on his back. We'll see here how the judges will score him. He fouled on the dive. I believe his back hit the water a little bit too much there. So definitely going to cost some points there for him.
31D back dive, 1.5 somersault, half twist in the free position, degree 1.8.
Michael with a 1.8 difficulty dive here. Michael again getting some air. His impact, not quite sure if that was what the judges are looking for.
4, 5.5.
4.5, 4 and a 5.5 there.
Jared's first dive will be a 52-31D back, 1.5 somersault, half twist, degree 1.8.
Jared with a 1.8 difficulty dive. So we've seen many of those today in this first round here. One of the smoother lands we've seen so far.
5, 5, 4.5.
We have a 5, 5, 4.5.
Bella's second dive will be a 52-23D back dive, 1 somersault, 1.5 twist in the free position, degree 2.3.
Bella with a 2.3 difficulty dive, the most difficult dive we've seen.
Awards.
We'll now wait Bella's score here of her
5,
second.
6.5, 5.5.
5, 6.5, and a 5.5.
Lena's second dive will be a 301A reverse dive, degree 1.8.
She follows again with another 1.8 difficulty dive.
Awards.
We saw a nice land there.
4.5, 5, 5.
4.5, 5 and a
Haley's
5.
second dive will be a 401C inward dive in the tuck position, degree 1.4.
Haley McCourt with a 1.4 difficulty dive. Let's see if she can score a little bit higher here.
Awards. 4.5, 5, 4.5.
4.5, 5, and another
Grace's
4.5.
second dive will be a 103C front 1.5 somersault. Degree 1.6.
1.6 difficulty dive. So we're seeing a slightly different trend here in this second round of dives. Some a little bit harder, some a little bit easier.
Awards.
I'm intrigued to see the scores here.
4.5, 5, 5.
4.5, 5, and 5.
Grace's second dive will be a 104C forward dive, 2 somersault in the tuck position. Degree 2.2.
A 2.2 difficulty dive here for Grace. Definitely a little bit harder than last time. I believe she'll score very well there. She had a great landing.
5, 7, 6.5.
5, 7, and 6.5. Another wide range, but Grace definitely scoring her best so far with that.
Will be a 103B front 1.5 somersault in the pike position. Degree 1.7.
Emma with a 1.7 difficulty dive. That was a nice landing. It's interesting to see how she went with her 1 foot up in the air.
7.5, 7.
6.5, 7, 7.5.
Foster's
6.5, 7,
second
7.
dive will be a 201A
Highest score that we've seen so far.
Degree 1.7.
That will definitely help this dive team for sure.
Awards.
An interesting landing. We'll see how the judges score
5,
him.
4.5, 5.
5, 4.5, and 5 there.
James's second dive will be a 103C forward dive, 1.5 somersault in the tuck position. Degree 1.6.
There's a 1.6 difficulty dive now for James. A lot of air there and a nice landing. I think he will score well for this.
5.5, 6, 4.5.
5.5, 6, and a 4.5.
Andrew's second dive will be a 402C inward, 403C inward 1.5 somersault in the tuck position. Degree 2.2.
There's a 2.2 difficulty dive here. That was a good landing, and the crowd let him know that. I think we might have the highest score so far today with that.
5.5, 6.
5.5, 5.5, and a 6. I thought we'd see maybe a little bit higher. That was a fantastic landing. He was able to stick there.
Dive, 2 somersault in the tuck position. Degree 2.0.
2.0 difficulty dive here for Michael. Lot of air there from Michael.
Awards. 4.5, 6, 5.5.
4.5, 6, and a 5.5. Fair score there for Michael.
Jared's second dive will be a 105C front 2.5 somersault in the tuck position. Degree 2.4.
2.4 difficulty here. wasting no time with the jump. His feet kicked out a little bit at the end of that landing. We'll see how he scored.
4, 4, 4.5.
4, 4, 4.5 there. Again, there's a routine, a technique we see here with these divers, and you have to get that exact perfect feeling, or else you're just not going to like that push off that you get. Here's a 2.7 difficulty dive. Quite the challenge there for Bella. That was a hard dive, and I think she might have scored pretty fairly on that.
5, 7, 5.5.
5, 7, 5.5. Bella's best scores by far. So we enter this third round.
Third dive will be a 302C reverse 1 somersault, degree 1.6.
Elena with a 1.6 difficulty dive here for Cheltenham.
Awards. 4, 3.5, 3.5.
4, 3.5, 3.5. I believe that might be her best score.
Third dive will be a 202A back dive, 1 somersault in the straight position, degree 1.7.
Another 1.7 difficulty dive here from McCourt. A nice land there from a court. I see a 6 coming out from one of the judges.
4.5, 4, 6.
4.5, 4, and a 6. Her best scores yet.
Will be a 201A back dive, degree 1.7.
And a 1.7 difficulty dive here for Grace of Cheltenham.
Awards. 4, 3.5, 4.
4, 3.5, 4. Bold prediction here. I think this will be Grace's best dive of the day. She's a great diver her third time around.
1.5 somersault in the tuck position. Degree 2.0.
2.0 difficulty dive here for Grace. Not quite the landing she was looking for, but she still will score well.
5, 6, 5.5.
5, 6, 5.5.
Emma's third dive will be a 104C front 2 somersault in the tuck position. Degree 2.2.
Emma with a 2.2 difficulty dive here. Her most challenging dive so far today. And I'm not sure if they wanted her feet to land like that, but I think she still scored well.
4.5, 5.5, 5.
4.5, 5, and a 5.5.
Foster's third dive will be a 302C reverse dive, 1 somersault in the tuck position. Degree 1.6.
Foster with a 1.6 difficulty dive here as we enter, or as we've been in this third round. Ooh, we might have another foul. He will score. Definitely looked a little bit painful.
3.
2.5, 3, and a 3.
James's third dive will be a 104C forward dive, 2 somersault in the tuck position. Degree 2.2.
James the 2.2 difficulty dive here. I think that might be a good score.
5.5, 7, 5.5.
5.5, 7, and a 5. Very nice scores there.
Third dive will be a 202B, back 1 somersault in the pike position. Degree 1.6.
1.6 difficulty here on this dive. Solid dive.
4.5, 4, 5.
4.5, 4, and a 5.
Michael's third dive will be a 304C, reverse dive, 2 somersault in the tuck position. Degree 2.1.
Michael with a 2.1 difficulty dive. Lot of air. Ooh, got a little bit close to the board there on his landing.
5, 5.5, 4.5.
5, 4.5, and 5.
Jared's third dive will be a 203B, back 1.5 in the pike position, degree 2.3.
2.3 difficulty dive. I believe this is his most challenging dive yet.
Jared's third dive will be a 203B, back 1.5 somersault in the pike position, degree 2.3.
Jared with a 2.3 difficulty dive.
Awards. 5, 6.5, 6.
5, 6.5, and a 6. Pretty nice score
Bella's
there.
fourth dive will be a 202A, back dive, 1 somersault in the straight position, degree 1.7.
Bella with a 1.7 difficulty dive here.
Awards.
Big splash there on that one.
5, 6.5, 5.5.
5, 6.5, and a 5.5. Her best score.
Milena's fourth dive will be a 201A, back dive, degree 1.7.
Lena with a 1.7 difficulty dive here.
Awards. 4, 4, 4.5.
4, 4, 4.5 there.
Haley's fourth dive will be a 103B, forward dive, 1.5 somersault in the pike position, degree 1.7.
Haley here with a 1.7 difficulty dive.
Awards. 5, 6, 5.
5, 6, 5. Cora will be happier with
Grace's
that
fourth
result
dive
than her
will be a
previous.
202A, back 1 somersault, degree 1.7.
1.7 difficulty dive here for Cheltenham. touched the deep end on that one. Quite the impact.
5, 6.5, 5.5.
5, 6.5, 5.5.
Grace's fourth dive will be a 403C inward dive, 1.5 somersault in the tuck position. Degree 2.2.
2.2 difficulty dive here for Grace. That might be the best dive we've seen from Grace.
6, 7, 5.5.
6, 7, and 5.5.
Emma's fourth dive will be a 203C, back 1.5 somersault in the tuck position. Degree 2.0.
2.0 difficulty dive here. Board was the exact way she likes it.
Awards. 4, 5, 4.5.
4, 5, 4.5.
Foster's fourth dive will be a 401C inward dive in the tuck position. Degree 1.4.
1.4 difficulty dive. I'll look to get some high points here. Getting a little bit close to that diving board.
4.5, 3.5, 4.5.
4.5, 3.5, 4.5.
James's fourth dive will be a 202A back dive, 1 somersault in the straight position. Degree 1.7. Awards.
A lot of space between himself and the board.
5.5, 5.
5, 5.5, and a 5.
Andrew's fourth dive will be a 302C reverse 1 somersault in the tuck position. Degree 1.6.
1.6 difficulty dive here.
Awards.
Very nice landing.
5, 3.5, 5.
5, 3.5, 5.
Michael's fourth dive will be a 105C forward dive, 2.5 somersault in the tuck position. Degree 2.4.
2.4 difficulty dive here from Michael. Straightened himself out a little bit. I think he started off a little bit unsteadily. He's able to fix his position, and we'll see here how he scored. I don't think that was quite the dive he was looking for.
5, 3.5.
4.5, 5, 3.5.
Jared's fourth dive will be a 403C inward 1.5 somersault in the tuck position. Degree 2.2.
Jared with a 2.2 difficulty dive here to close us out on this fourth round of dives.
Awards. 5, 6.5, 5.
5, 6.5, 5. We'll now move
Bella's
in
fifth
to the
dive will be a
5th round of
402C
diving.
Inward dive, 1 somersault in the tuck position. Degree 1.6.
1.6 difficulty dive here for Bella.
Awards. 5, 5.5, 5.
5, 5.5, 5. Almost all 5s there.
Milena's 5th dive will be a 401C inward dive. Degree 1.4.
1.4 difficulty dive here for Elena.
Awards.
Back foot kind of kicked out there. We'll see how she
4,
scored.
3, 2.5.
4, 3, 2.5.
Haley's 5th dive will be a 102B forward dive, 1 somersault in the pike position. Degree 1.5.
1.5 difficulty dive here. One of the few 1.5 dives we've seen so far today. That's her best dive, without a doubt. No
Awards.
doubt in my mind that's her best dive.
5, 5.5, 5.
5, 5.5, 5. It's actually not her best dive,
Grace's
but I really
5th
thought
dive
that
will
she had a
be
fantastic
401B
dive there.
Inward dive. Degree 1.5.
1.5 difficulty dive here, so we see back-to-back 1.5 difficulty dives.
Awards. 4.5, 4, 4.5.
4.5, 4, 4.5.
Grace's 5th dive will be a 301C reverse dive in the tuck position. Degree 1.6.
1.6 difficulty dive. I believe this is the lowest difficulty dive Grace has attempted so far today. Wow! Wow!
7.76.
7.76, best scores we've seen so far today. I mean, just
Emma's
perfect
5th dive,
form there by Lynch.
22.21D, back 1 somersault, half twist. Degree 1.7.
There's a 1.7 difficulty dive here.
Awards.
Back leg just kicked out a little bit, but I still think she'll receive a
3.5,
solid score.
5, 4.5.
3.5, 5, 4.5.
Foster's 5th dive will be a 103C front dive, 1.5 somersault in the tuck position. Degree 1.6.
Foster with a 1.6 difficulty degree dive here. And the board's already set the way he likes it, so that's good. Wasting no time in the jump there. Some of the farthest we've seen a diver land from the board today.
3.5, 3, 4.
3.5, 3, and a 4.
James's 5th dive will be a 402C inward dive, 1 somersault in the tuck position. Degree 1.6.
James with the 1.6 difficulty dive here. Not sure if he quite kicked out his legs as soon as he'd like to on that one.
4, 3.5, 3.
4, 3.5, 3.
Andrew's fifth dive will be a 104C front 2 somersault in the tuck position. Degree 2.2.
There's 2.2 difficulty dive here. This is one of the most difficult we've seen in this 5th round. Lands a little bit forward.
Awards. 3, 3, 3.
3, 3, 3. Right across the board.
Michael's
Nice even
dive
scores.
will be a 104B forward dive 2 somersault in the pike position. Degree 2.3.
2.3. The most difficult dive we've seen this round. So again, only getting higher with the end here. These male divers. Woof. Folks, that one sounded like it might have hurt a little bit.
Awards. 4, 5.5, 4.5.
4, 5.5, 4.5. Hope he jumps in that hot tub real quick, because that sounded like it might have hurt a little bit.
Will be a 51-24D front 1 somersault 2 twist. Degree 2.3.
And another 2.3 to close out this round. Feet landed a little bit forward, but he got a nice corkscrew in there.
4.5, 6, 4.5.
4.5, 6, 4.5.
Bella's final dive will be a 103.
And now we move into the final round of dives.
Degree 1.6.
You can call this the witching hour of dives, if you will. Oh no. Again, I think that was the dive she was looking for there to close this one out.
5.5, 6, 5.5.
5.5, 6, 5.5.
Milena's final dive will be a 101A forward dive, degree 1.4.
Milena with a 1.4 difficulty dive.
Awards. 4, 3, 4.5.
4, 3, 4.5 there.
Haley's final dive will be a 51-24D forward dive, 1 somersault, 2 twists in the free position. Degree 2.3.
It's a 2.3 difficulty dive for Haley, her hardest of the day.
Awards. 5, 6.5, 5.
5, 6.5, 5.
Grace's final dive will be a 301C reverse dive in the tuck position. Degree 1.6.
1.6 difficulty dive here for Grace of Cheltenham. It appears she's talking to one of her coaches possibly before this dive.
301C reverse dive in the tuck position. Degree 1.6.
I believe they might have announced the wrong dive. She gets the board ready to go.
Awards.
Not quite sure she liked the results she got with that one.
Foul dive.
And we will have our second foul dive of this afternoon.
Grace's final dive will be a 52-23D back dive, 1 somersault, 1.5 twist in the free position. Degree 2.3.
And a 2.3 difficulty dive here for Grace. Again, looking to really cap off a fantastic afternoon for herself. Look at the landing. It was like cutting through butter with a hot knife.
5.76.
5.76.
Emma's final dive will be a 301C reversed dive in the tuck position. Degree 1.6.
1.6 difficulty dive here.
Awards.
I think she scored pretty well there.
6.5, 6.5, 6.5.
6.5, 6.5, 6.5.
Foster's
Couple halves away from that, unlucky number.
Back dive, 1 somersault in the tuck position. Degree 1.5.
1.5 difficulty dive here. His legs didn't quite straighten out. So we'll see how they score.
4.5.
4.5, 4.5.
James's final dive will be a 302C reverse dive, 1 somersault in the tuck position. Degree 1.6.
James, the 1.6 degree difficulty dive. As he slicks his hair back. Wow, again, a little bit close to that diving board.
4.5, 5, 4.5.
4.5, 5, 4.5.
Andrew's final dive will be a 103B front 1.5 somersault in the pike position. Degree 1.7.
Andrew, the 1.7 difficulty dive here.
Awards. 5.5, 6, 5.
5.5, 6, and a 5.
Michael's final dive will be a 51-32D forward dive, 1.5 somersault, 1 twist in the free position. Degree 2.2.
2.2 difficulty dive here from Michael. Neat little move there. I like that dive.
4, 4.5, 4.
4, 4.5, 4.
Jared's
And
final dive
our
will be a
final
104
dive of the day
front
here for
2.5
Jared.
somersault in the pike position. Degree 2.3.
And a 2.3 difficulty dive. I'd like to see someone break 8 here.
A 104B front 2.5 somersault in the pike position.
I believe we might have a misannouncement of dive here as he waits to go onto the board.
Jared's final dive will be a 104B front 2 somersault in the pike position. Degree 2.3.
There we go. And here Jared will close us out on a great afternoon of diving. A great dive to finish this afternoon on
5.5, 5, 5.5.
5.5, 5, 5.5.
That will now conclude diving.
Diving is now over, folks, so we will go to a quick commercial break as the swimmers now will warm up, and we will get ready for some very exciting races we have coming shortly. Alrighty, folks, welcome back. We have our first event, the girls' 200-yard medley relay. So we have in lane 2 for PW, Isabella Schaeffer, Alvarez, Gelger. Lane 3 we have Bell, Rothberg, O'Neill, Mitchell. Lane 4, DeBona, Edwards, Ruggiero, Ellie. Lane 5 we have McLean, Green, Mitchell, Abraham, and in lane 6 we have Givnish, Suchland, Edwards, and Kate. And we're off, folks. We have our first medley relay here to start us off. Lane 3 for the Colonials, we have Gianna DeBona starting off with a strong lead here. Gets great kick off that wall. Starts to spread a little bit of space in between her. And in lane 3, that is Bell of Cheltenham. This second handoff is really crucial here in a lot of these relays. And Colonial will get a very nice handoff there. We'll see here what Edwards can do with a little bit of space that she was able to pick up. Edwards again with a nice amount of space between her and Rothberg. Again, anybody's race here at lanes 3 and 4. Ruggiero gets a really nice handoff there. Flying through. Again, she's one of the premier swimmers of this Colonial squad, and she is looking to take no prisoners here as she is breezing through. A little bit of an awkward push off the wall there for Ruggiero, but again, she is just moving. And really just the spacing is starting to get a lot wider here as Ruggiero has just blown through. And now we have the final leg of this relay for the Colonials, and I mean, wow. That difference between that second and third handoff really put the Colonials in a great spot to be at. Coming down the home stretch now is Melissa Ely, and wow. Colonials got right down to business there, and they will easily take first place here in this first event. And now Cheltenham will finish with second place. And for this podium, it looks like we will have the Colonials in lane 6 take that third place finish. So we had the best time here was lane 4 for the Colonials, 2:06.09. Followed by second place, which is 2:11.94. And third place, which is 2:21.92. Now we'll move into the second event. So the second event here is the boys 200-yard medley relay. In lane 2 we have for the Colonials Luke Wykel, Cameron Hyun, Adam Denofa, and Ferris Obad. Lane 3 we will have Darian Williams, Eli Kaufman, Chase Montgomery, Brian Trainer. Lane 4 we will have Brett Keenan, Dean Suchland, Jack Pfeiffer, Caleb Kelly. Lane 5 we will have Damien Gelger, Chris New, Ben Lee, Eli Harmon Ward, and in lane 6, Joe Fazio, Niles Rankin, Brandon Berlin, and Jake Davis.
Ben Lee and Eli Harmon Ward. Lane 6, Joe Fazio, Niles Rankin, Brandon Berlin, and Jake Davis.
Colonials moved up some of the relays a little bit here. We'll see how that turns out. And we're off. So we see who tries to get some separation here early on. Cheltenham in lane 3 with a slight lead. That is Darian Williams. Darian definitely starting to set himself apart. We'll see here with this push off the wall. As again, it can make it break many races with that first leg. Seeming to move with ease here. The Colonials will try to close the gap here with this second handoff. Cheltenham with a superb handoff there. They'll put them in a very nice spot. If the Colonials really want to try to close the gap here, they're going to need Cameron to definitely try to get a really nice push off here. Cameron moved very quickly under Woodard there. And again, coming here, he is starting to close the gap. And I believe this race, we're going to have a very close finish between lanes 2 and 3. Now we see Denofa, again the senior, trying to close the gap on Chase Montgomery. Montgomery and Denofa going neck and neck here. Wow, Denofa's moving. And this is an even race here. Got Ferris, a freshman, looking to try to step up. And in lane 3 here for Cheltenham, we have this last leg here. That is Brian Trainer. And Brian will look to take the first place finish as he has Ferris closing out on him. Colonial actually in lane 6 will take second place in lane 2, third place. The times are as followed for Cheltenham 149.17. For the Colonials in lane 6, 152.14 and 154.75. Moving into our next event, we will have the girls 200-yard freestyle. So we will have Tiona McLean in lane 1, Jessie Kaplan lane 2, Mina Rothberg lane 3, Charlie Tulio lane 4, Grace Darling lane 5, and Olivia Giambalvo in lane 6.
Event 3, girls 200-yard freestyle. Lane 1, Tiona McLean. Lane 2, Jessie Kaplan.
Going into this one, I mean, you hate to show bias here, but I really like Charlie Tulio's chances in this one, as she has just been an absolute powerhouse since coming into this program. And they're off. Charlie Tulio actually said she doesn't typically do this event, but the coaches wanted to obviously show off her flexibility here as a swimmer. And again, she's a very nice lead here. Charlie with a really nice lead here. Moving with ease here. So again, trailing her is lanes 2 and 3. In lane 2 for the Colonials, that is Jessie Kaplan. And in lane 3, that is Mina Rothberg. Tulio swimming her race here. She set a nice, easy pace for herself. She is just coasting at this point. She's a pretty nice lead here. Tulio now starting to kick it into second gear a little bit. We have a very nicely packed house here for a swim event here on a Thursday. It's great to see all these people at the school coming out supporting their local swim team. A lot of parents, a lot of students. Definitely probably the most crowded I've seen it here in the PW Natorium. Again, Tulio moving with ease. And the 200, man, that is such a distance in swimming, and I mean, again, I know I couldn't do this event. Tulio now really starting to widen the gap. Again, she is just moving with ease. And an easy first place finish for Tulio. Second place will be hardly fought for, and the Colonials will take that. Third place now will be Cheltenham. So the times are as follows for the Colonials. With Charlie Tulio, that'll be 2:06.52. Second place as well will be 2:11.84, and in third place 2:17.46. Colonials starting off pretty nicely here. We're moving into event number 4, the boys 200-yard freestyle. So we'll have Eli, Harmon Ward, Tom Manley, Ben Lee, Riley Coyle, Chris New, and Joshua Levin. Now wait the official times for all the other swimmers here.
Event 4, boys 200-yard freestyle. Lane 1, Eli Harmon Ward.
We have a pretty interesting matchup here amongst Colonials. We have Tom Manley and Riley Coyle, two excellent swimmers. Josh Levin, the senior. Look to see what he can produce, as we've had a couple pretty close finishes with lane 6 swimmers today. Here we go. We see a very nice start there for Coyle. Coyle setting a nice pace. Following behind him is Tom Manley. And in lane 3 for Cheltenham, that is Ben Lee. Levin's also in the pack here. We'll see if he can maintain this pace. Coyle definitely here with a very nice lead. Yep, I think we might have an almost repeat of the last event. Tulio and Coyle, both again just such dominant swimmers for this Colonial swim team. Now we see here, I'm intrigued to see who will get second place, as Levin and Manley are neck and neck right now. Then with a very nice kick there, that will put him slightly ahead of Manley. Very nice here for this Colonial boys swim team if they could have 3 podiums here. Coyle making it almost look easy. Coyle now coming down the home stretch. We see he starts to kick it in the second gear. Again, Levin and Manley going neck and neck. Levin with a nice little margin there. So we see if he can maintain that and get the second place finish, as Coyle again is just moving. And there's Coyle officially with first place. We see now coming down the stretch a Colonial competition as we have Levin and Manley neck and neck. Levin is moving, and I don't think Manley will be able to catch him. And Levin will get second, followed by Manley. So we have a Colonial sweep there with podiums. Now coming in fourth place is Cheltenham. The times are as follows. First place, the time of 1:54.62. Second place, the time of 2:08.67. And third place, the time of 2:11.67. Coming down In lane 1 here for Cheltenham is Eli Harmon Ward. And that will close out this race. We now move into event number 5, the 200-yard IM. So we have Kate Edwards, Fiona McCannon, Melissa Ely, Alyssa Michelle, and Emily Rhodes.
Lane 4, Melissa Ely. Lane 5, Alyssa McCall. And lane 6, Emily Rhodes.
Here we go. Again with lanes 2, 3, and 4. It is an even race. We have an ever so slight lead with lane 4. That is Melissa Ely for the Colonials. Following closely behind her is Fiona McKinnon and Kate Edwards. Again, we see a nice 1-2-3 formation of Ely, McCannon, and Edwards. Ely getting a very nice little lead here. We'll see if she can maintain this going down the stretch. We see her fellow teammate Ruggiero waving her on. Try to make sure she keeps the pace that she wants to get a pretty good time. We hear some teammates cheering on their fellow swimmers down there in that back zone. Again, Ely with a very nice lead here. Falling not too far behind her is McCannon. Again, this is anybody's race, as it seems that Ely is starting to be very close here at Cheltenham. And we'll have what will be, I think, an almost photo finish between Cheltenham and Plymouth Whitemarsh. Cheltenham trying to pull ahead. Again, such a long race. We're seeing Cheltenham starting to pull away with it. Coming right down to the finish here at Cheltenham with a really nice start there. And I actually caught it a little bit too early, so we have one more lap. Now Cheltenham with a nice lead. Melissa's really going to have to try to close this. She's losing steam. Cheltenham is only gaining it. Again, McCannon coming down the stretch. An excellent push off there from McCannon. Melissa now trying to put everything she has here into this finish. And I believe McCannon will pull away with it, as that back half of the race, she really did her best. And she will get first, followed by Melissa. And now we await the other swimmers to finish. Third place, we will have Colonial in lane 2, that is Edwards. And in lane 6, that is Emily Rhodes. We have in lane 5 for Cheltenham, Alyssa Michelle. So this is a little bit of a secret, folks, but I might as well let it out. After this swim meet, we'll have an interview with our own. That'll be Charlie Tulio. Again, such a fantastic swimmer. We'll hear what she has to say with her perspectives about how this year has gone for this women's swim team. First place, the time of 2:27 flat. Second place, the time of 2:29.18. Third place, 2:42.84. We have the 200 boys 200-yard IM. Chris New, Alex Williamson, Eli Kaufman, Niles Rankin, Aiden Frankenberg, and Joe Fazio.
Lane 5, Aiden Frankenberg, and lane 6, Joe Fazio.
And they're off. Again, I don't love picking horses in races, but I do like Niles here. The senior, been a dominant force here for Colonial with his swimming career. Again, neck and neck here with lanes 3 and 4. That is Rankin and Kaufman. Kaufman with a slight edge here over Rankin. Kaufman now looking to really try to widen his lead. So he got a very nice push off there going into the backstroke. Kaufman there with a little bit of a splash as he's really starting to widen his lead here. We'll see what Rankin can do now. So he's just trying to keep himself in this one. Kaufman with a very nice kickoff there. We'll see if Rankin can try to close the gap. So you see here, lane 5, close third place. That is Aiden Frankenberg of Cheltenham. Hoffman now setting a very nice pace, but this is Rankin's best stroke right here. So we'll see if he can catch up. So he's starting to definitely kick it into gear. I don't know. He might chase him down. We'll see here what Kaufman can do. Rankin got to leave it all out there in the pool right now. Kaufman really moving very nicely here. And he will take first. Rankin will have a nice second place finish there. Now coming into third, I believe we will have Cheltenham. And in lane 5, we will have Frankenberg. Williams now coming in. The times are as follows. For first place is 2:03.70. For second place, 2:08.11. And third place, 2:24.03. Moving into our next event, number 7. This will be the girls' 50-yard freestyle. We have Hannah Abraham, Gianna DeBona, Hannah Mitchell, Jules Tulio, Molly O'Neill, and Evelina Rawson Venero.
Event 7, girls 500-yard freestyle. Lane 1, Hannah Abraham. Lane 2, Gianna DeBona. Lane 3, Hannah
Again, this is a pretty quick event here.
Jules Tulio. Lane 5, Molly O'Neill.
So we'll see which sprinter will try to pull away with this one. There he goes. They fly through that pool. Neck and neck. We'll see who tries to get any sort of advantage. Jules Tulio, it's a slight one again. That Tulio clan just produces some fantastic swimmers. Jules Tulio with a nice little edge here. Followed closely. Lanes 2 and 3 here. Again, this will be a very close second place finish. So we have 3 swimmers. Jules gets it. And wow. I'm going to have to look at the board for this one. First place, we have 27.11. Second place, 28.36. And third place, 28.48. So that's lanes 5 in third, lane 2 in second, and lane 4 in first. Colonials get 2 podiums. Event 8, the boys 50-yard freestyle with Anthony Freeney, Jake Wykel, Chase Montgomery, Brandon Berlin, Brian Trainer, and Adam Denofa.
Lane 4, Brandon Berlin. Lane 5, Brian Trainer. And lane 6, Adam Denofa.
Jake Wykel, interesting fact, actually a hockey player, will be covering their hockey match tomorrow night. We're all moving. Again, this point of the race, it's always pretty even. And then that turn off that back wall is so crucial. Berlin, again, with a slight edge here. Again, looking very similar to the ladies' 50 heat. And Berlin with just a hair more, we'll see. And he will get it, followed by Cheltenham in lane 3, and Wykel in lane 2. So the times are as follows: 24:47, 25:09, and 25:48.
10-minute warm-up.
And I believe we will have a 10-minute warm-up here. Get some of the swimmers seem a little bit confused here. They'll wait official word. Seemed like the swimmers that were lined up were pretty ready to go. Not really too sure about what's going on here with this one. Again, they did a different format this race. They did diving first, so there was another warm-up placed within this meet, and we weren't really too sure when that might be, as currently I believe we are in that 10-minute break. In other CITV news, we moved into the second semester. We have several kids moving up into Media 2 and Media 3, and also Media 1. So it's really exciting, obviously, as we have new people that can be able to do camera, different shows for CITV. And again, that's what really makes the Media Production Club and CITV such a great club to be a part of, as we're always adding new additions and new personalities that can only spice up and add to the amazing quality of our productions. So we're on event 11, the girls 100-yard butterfly. We have Kate Edwards, Mina Rothberg, Mia Ruggiero, Bethany Rutkowski, and Serena Alvarez. Again, Mia Ruggiero coming out with a very strong lead there. We see Cheltenham with a little song routine. Great show of support for their team, and my goodness, Mia Ruggiero, folks. I can tell you a funny story. One time, it was over the summer, and we were playing Sharks and Minnows, and let me tell you, when she got everybody out in one round, she did. She is insanely fast. Swimming since a young age, training very hard, and I mean, it's just, it looks easy. And there she goes with first place. Now at second place, we have Mina Rothberg of Cheltenham. And I believe in third place we have from lane 5, another Cheltenham swimmer. Lane 5, that will be Bethany Rutkowski. So we have first place with the time of 1:00:06. In second place, 1:13:02. And in third place, 1:14:82. So the Colonials able to get first place, followed by two Cheltenham podiums. We're now moving into event number 12, the boys 100-yard butterfly. In lane 2 of Adam Denofa, Chase Montgomery, Cameron Hyun, Anthony Feeney, and Jake Davis. We're now at the halfway point of this meet. Looking very good so far here for the Colonials.
Event 12, boys 100-yard butterfly. Lane 2, Adam Denofa. Lane 3, Chase Montgomery. Lane 4, Cameron Hunt. Lane 5, Anthony Feeney. And lane 6, Jake Davis.
Here we go. We have a matchup of two seniors here for the Colonials with Jake Davis and Adam Denofa. And Cameron Hyun, who is a young up-and-coming sophomore for this swim team. Colonials with a nice little margin here, as both Denofa and Hyun are neck and neck, followed by an almost virtual tie here in third between Davis and Montgomery. Cameron with an ever so slight edge here. This kickoff will be big here. Cameron slightly slowed his momentum, but still moving pretty efficiently. It's really a Colonial race here. Still look to take first, second, and third place, but first will be pretty hardly fought for. And it will be Cameron able to get that first place finish at the time of 32.73. Second place, 59.94. Second place at the time of 1:00.26. And third place, Lane 6 Davis, 1:03.73. We're now moving in to the girls. 100-yard freestyle. We have Alexis Duffy, Phoebe Liu, Charlie Tulio, Hannah Mitchell, and Abigail Edwards.
Event 13, girls 100-yard freestyle. Lane 2, Alexis Duffy. Lane 3, Phoebe Liu. Lane 4, Charlie Tulio. Lane 5, Hannah Mitchell. And lane 6, Abigail Edwards.
Charlie, again with a fantastic start there. Charlie setting a fantastic pace here. Closely behind her is a fellow Colonial in lane 2. Again, that is Alexis Duffy, a senior. Another very highly esteemed swimmer for this ladies swim team. Again, we'll be interviewing Charlie after this meet. Very excited to hear her perspective on, again, another fantastic year for her. And she has a whole other year. She'll easily take first there. Coming in at second will be Duffy. And third place, a little bit of a slugfest here. We'll see who gets it. And that will be the Colonials with a sweep there. Times are as follows. First place, 57 flat. Second place, 1:02.60. And third place, 1:07.29. We'll now go into the boys' 100-yard freestyle. That will be as follows. Brandon Verlin, Darian Williams, Caleb Kelly, Brian Trainer, and Ben Uter. Ben Uter, another member of that hockey team, playing in that game tomorrow as the starting goaltender.
Lane 3, Darren Williams. Lane 4, Caleb Kelly. Lane 5, Brian Trainer. And lane 6, Ben Uter.
Caleb Kelly, again, one of the finest swimmers we've ever seen for Colonial. Has a pretty nice little lead here. Following closely behind him in lane 3, that is Darian Williams. Again, a nice formation of 1, 2, 3. Kelly, Williams, and in lane 2, Verlin. Kelly and Williams. Again, Williams really trying to give it his all and catch up with Kelly. And I think Kelly will have just enough to put him in first. As he does, so it'll be Kelly, Williams, and Verlin. Times are as follows. First place, 50.72. Second place, 51.84. Third place, 54.40. We now will have event number 15, the girls' 500-yard freestyle. We have Alyssa Michelle, Olivia Schaeffer, Fiona McCannon, Melissa Ely, Olivia Bell, and Emily Rhodes. Again, a truly grueling event here, the 500-yard freestyle. Again, these first couple laps it's about setting a nice pace, but you don't want to blow yourself away. You see the teammates there at the number of laps that they've completed. Again, you want to coax, but you want to move while you're coaxing. It's just like running the mile. I mean, they are events that are so similar in the respect that, you need to be moving, but you don't want to put everything you have in the tank in those earlier laps. You want to build up, explode into those last two, really. And an early lead here. Again, can't say too much, but with a very nice pace here is Melissa Ely for Plymouth Whitemarsh. We saw in her last event, she went pretty quickly to start it off, and then kind of started to lose momentum. So we'll look to see here. She can swim her race, pull away with it. Pretty nice space here for Ely. Pretty nice space. Again, she has a little bit of time now. She can choose what she wants to do here. If she wants to just slow her pace a little bit, put a little bit in the tank for the final couple laps here, she can. She has the full freedom to do so. Moving very nicely here. Really starting to set herself apart from the pack. She might be able to gain a lap here on her fellow swimmers. Coming in to lap number 9 now. Ely. Again, can't say too much. Those final couple laps is really when we see the race start to unfold. But I'm not sure if that will be too much of a problem for Ely here. She is moving at ease. And she's got a very nice margin lead here. Coming into her 11th lap now. Again, gliding nicely here. It's Melissa Ely. Lap number 13. If you're, I believe, a trioxophobic, it's either trioxophobic or troxophobic, means you have a fear of the number 13. So if you're watching, knock on wood, or do whatever you do with your superstitions. Ely won't need any superstitions, as she is a very nice half lap lead over lane number 3 in second. Again, that is Fiona McCann. I don't know how they just keep going. In practice, how many laps does someone that swims such a long event, how many laps are they doing? I mean, goodness. Just to get the endurance needed for such an event. Ely kicking it on a little bit more now. She knows she's coming down the home stretch of her race. Again with lanes 3, 4, 5, and 6. They're all moving. And we hear the bell. Melissa knows that she is almost at the end of this arduous event. I'm intrigued now to see who will finish in second because, again, it's pretty close with lane 6 and lane 3. Emily Rhodes, a sophomore, I believe, for this Colonial squad. Young up-and-comer might be able to get second here. And Ely will take first, making it look easy. Again, we see now McCann and Rhodes both moving pretty quickly here for a second. And McCann will take it, followed closely by Rhodes. Now lane 5 will finish for Cheltenham. So the times for the podiums are as follows. First place, the time of 5:55.68. Second place, the time of 6:12.98. And third with a time of 6:13.51. So, folks, for those of you watching, I know that you're avid sports fans for CITV. We have some very exciting news. Never before heard news. For CITV, we'll be having our inaugural coverage of Plymouth Whitemarsh men's ice hockey. For several years, we've been trying to figure out the logistics to be able to do such an event, and we finally have figured it out. So we'll be at Hatfield Ice World, covering our first ever ice hockey game with a matchup versus Hatboro Horsham, with, again, one of the hottest teams at P-Dub. Very excited for that with our coverage of that tomorrow night, Friday. Again, some very exciting stuff. We've been trying to do it for a long time. One of my personal favorites. And so we're coming towards a close here with many of these Colonial seasons. It is definitely looking forward to playoffs. We will probably see a couple games for the red hot girls basketball team, men's ice hockey, and again, you never know. Maybe we'll cover a swimming playoff match, swimming meet at districts, but you know, some very nice respective seasons for the Colonials in this spring season. And again, we're almost in February, so spring sports will come sooner than you know it. And now we have the cool down laps. Again, so tiring. So the next event will be the boys 500-yard freestyle. We'll have Daniel Watkins in lane 2. We'll have Damien Gougre, Jake Wykel, Ben Lee, and Isaiah Bell. Now, judging from what I see here, in lane 2 it is not Daniel Watkins, that is Joshua Levin. So they must have made a last minute change as to who is in lane 2.
Event 16, boys 500.
Josh Levin, also a distance athlete in track, as he does the 800-meter race. He runs cross country, and I believe he does the 400 too. So he's got some pretty good cardiorespiratory shape, to say the least. Again, all about coaxing here. Do not want to blow yourself away in these first couple laps. Early on here, we see it is Wykel and Levin, neck and neck, and lanes 3, 5, and 6 following closely behind. Wykel and Levin, again, swimming almost an equal pace here early on. Early on here, but looking very nice for this the two Colonials leading right now, Wykel and Levin. Again, early on here, but looking very good for the Colonials. We currently are in event 16 of 24, so more than halfway through this meet. And again, it's been an absolute pleasure to cover this swimming squad this year. And you know, some very impactful seniors will be leaving, so we'll be interested to see how some of the younger swimmers do next year and years moving forward. Levin now slightly pulling ahead of Wykel. We're at the almost halfway point here of this race. And again, I mean, Daniel Watkins was the one listed in lane 2, but Levin showing that he deserved a spot there. Levin starting to pull ahead here in a very favorable spot. Levin nicely leading here on lap 11. Believe it or not, I have actually had classes with both Levin and Wykel, respectively. Josh, a very nice speaker of the Spanish language, as we had Spanish together, and Wykel, an avid rock fan, as we had history of rock and roll. Now, I know the psyche of both track and swimming is similar. Myself being a track fan, I like to make some comparisons, and I just remember on meet days being very nervous. You know, it's very hard to keep those nerves at bay sometimes. It's almost sometimes you're racing more against yourself than you are other people, as you're trying to keep your paces right. You're trying to stay out of your own head, stay positive, and you know, I just remember it was a little bit nerve-wracking, but once you got your event done, it was one of the best feelings ever, especially if you were able to get a PR. Levin, very nice lead now on lap 15. And speaking to him before the event today, he definitely sounded pretty excited. He thought that he could maybe get a win in this event, and so far he's keeping true to that. Also possibly a future personality in the medical field, as Josh plans on doing something in biomedical, something along the lines of that in college. He said he wants to go somewhere warm, and I don't blame him, because on a day like today, it is cold. And I would definitely rather be in a warmer climate. Now Levin hears that bell. He kicks it on, and he knows that it's time for him to get this grudgingly long event wrapped up. Kicking it on here, as he knows he is just a couple strokes away from taking a very nice first place finish. Race against the clock now, and he is definitely moving here. You just hear his arms splashing against the water, and he will take first. Following closely behind him will be Jake Wykel. Wykel doing the breaststroke, and he will take second. And now third, Cheltenham. That is Damien Gougre. Now lane 5 coming in fourth. Times are as follows. In first place, we had a time of 5:49.86. Second place, 6:10.04. And third place, 6:16.54. Nothing but smiles from all of these boys, as obviously now that is a grueling event. We now will begin this last leg here of this meet, as we will have the girls' 200-yard freestyle relay. As these boys now cool down, these girls prepare. We have in lane 2, Carmen Miramontes, Jessie Kaplan, Evelyn Rawson Venero, and Charlie Tulio. Lane 3, Hannah Mitchell, Mina Rothberg, Molly O'Neill, Fiona McCannon. Lane 4, Julian Gelger, Olivia Schaeffer, Casey Blake, Mia Ruggiero. Lane 5, Phoebe Liu, Grace Darling, Tiona McLean, Hannah Abraham. Lane 6, Lucy Sullivan, Emily Rhodes, Olivia Giambalvo, and Jules Tulio. So we have here at the last leg a little sibling matchup between Charlie Tulio and Jules Tulio. Seems they tried to even it out here with a pretty fun matchup as well with that last leg, as we'll have Mia Ruggiero, Charlie Tulio going neck and neck. This will be fun. I think they really try to even out these relays, and I think we could have a very close finish here. And we're off. So far, Cheltenham with a nice lead. Coming out of lane 3, that is Hannah Mitchell. Hannah with a nice push off there. Lane 2 closely following, that is Carmen Miramontes. And then in third, pretty highly contested with lanes 4, 5, and 6. Very nice handoff there for Cheltenham. Colonials both pushing there in second, as we have Jessie Kaplan and Olivia Schaeffer. Lane 2, Jessie Kaplan closely in pursuit of Mina Rothberg there. Nice handoff there. And now we have a very important leg, the third leg. The Colonials have Evelyn Rawson Venero, Casey Blake going against Molly O'Neill. Again, although there's a little bit of a gap, these fourth legs of the Colonials will look to show their stripes and close the gap here. Smooth handoff for Cheltenham. Mira Ruggiero getting ready to go here. She's got some work to do to try to catch up. Wasting no time trying to close that gap. This will be a close finish, folks. I can just feel it. Mira Ruggiero now with a big push here. She will try to close the gap in what was an almost impossible looking comeback here. Again, that is Ruggiero and Fiona McCann going neck and neck This will be an almost finishes for Zero. It's going as quickly as she can. She will get the wall and catch up. Wow. Zero flew, and Tulio, I believe, will get third finish there. Wow. What a finish. Zero is able to close the gap brilliantly there in that relay. First place at the time of 1:55.99. Second place at the time of 1:56.13. Third place at the time of 1:59.25. I'm sorry, folks. I made a mistake here based on the lineup I was looking at. It was slightly misplaced. That was Charlie Tulio that was able to close the gap. And Mia Ruggiero was in lane 4. My apologies. Charlie Tulio with a fantastic job there. Able to catch up with Fiona McCannon of Cheltenham. I believe actually lane 6 for the Colonials was able to take third place. Not my brightest moment there, folks. I apologize. Going to lane 18, now we have the boys 200-yard freestyle relay. In lane 2, we have Kamani Kinyanjui, Josh Levin, Eli Crasson, Ben Duffy. Lane 3, we'll have Darian Williams, Brian Trainer, Chase Montgomery, Eli Kaufman. Lane 4, we'll have Ethan Bayline, Adam Denofa, Brandon Verlin, Jake Davis. Lane 5, Joe Moreland, Chris New, Anthony Feeney, Aiden Frankenberg. Lane 6, Benson Davis, Daniel Watkins, Will Ellinger, and RJ Carbone.
Event 18, boys 200-yard freestyle relay. Lane 2, Kamani Kinyanjuni, Joshua Levin, Eli Crasson, and Ben Duffy. Lane 3, Darian Williams, Brian Trainer, Chase Montgomery, and Eli Kaufman. Lane 4, Ethan Bayline, Adam Denofa, Brandon Berlin, and Jake Davis. Lane 5, Drew Moreland, Chris New, Anthony Phoebe, and Aiden Frankenberg. And lane 6, Benson Davis, Daniel Watkins, Will Ellinger, and RJ Carbone.
Here we go. And Cheltenham with a nice strong pace here. Again, that is Darian Williams. Darian with a very nice handoff here to his second leg. That is Brian Trainer. Kamani able to get a nice handoff there to Josh Levin. Again, just coming off only a couple events ago, that very hard 500. Cheltenham really with a nice lead here. I'm not sure if even Charlie Tulio could close the gap on that one, as it is getting bigger and bigger by the second. As now the third leg of Cheltenham is going in lane 3. That is Chase Montgomery. With Colonials, definitely could get 2 podiums here. Again, neck and neck. That is Eli Crasson and Brandon Berlin. Also in lane 6, Will Ellinger, keeping it interesting. Breezing ahead for Cheltenham, that is Eli Kaufman. And Kaufman looks to take this relay with ease. Followed by in second place for the Colonials. That would be Jake Davis. Followed behind Davis, that is Ben Duffy. So the Colonials able to get second and third place there. Times are as follows. First place with a time of 1:38.94. Second place with a time of 1:48.04. Third place with a time of 1:49.83. Now the we have event number 19, girls 100-yard backstroke. Lane 1, we have Tiona McLean, Gianna DeBona, Molly O'Neill, Lexus Duffy, Bethany Rakowski, and Tess Wasina. we see Duffy and O'Neill neck and neck right now. Again, Duffy the senior. Moving at ease here as we have a nice little streamline of first, second, third. Duffy, O'Neill, and DeBona. Now the home stretch. Duffy again with a very nice lead. And she will take this one. First place for Duffy, followed by O'Neill. And in third place should be Gianna DeBona. So Colonial's able to pick up some nice podiums there. Times are as follows. First place with a time of 1:10.18. Second place with a time of 1:13.04. Third place with a time of 1:18.50. We now move into the boys. Event number 20, the boys 100-yard backstroke. So we have Francisco Song, Darian Williams, Dean Suchlin, Damien Gelger, and Sun Sun Liu. Event number 20, only 4 events away from the conclusion of this one. So these gentlemen get ready for the start of this race.
Event 20, boys 100-yard backstroke. Lane 2, Francisco Song. Lane 3, Darian Williams. Lane 4,
You see here, I don't like to comment too much on it, but in lane 3 for Cheltenham, Darian Williams with some zebra trunks. A little bit of a fashion flair. Williams having himself a fantastic day, and he has a pretty nice margin right now. Got him and Francisco going neck and neck here in this backstroke event. Equal so far. Williams with slightly longer arms, giving him a slight advantage over Francisco here. Again, Francisco and Williams neck and neck. Closely followed by Dean Suchlin. Here we go, folks. The part you love, that final lap. And I think Williams will be able to take this one as he got a very nice little push there as he knows this event is coming to a close, and he will take first. Following him closely at second place will be Francisco, and in third place, Suchlin. Times are as follows. First place, the time of 1:03.45. Second place, the time of 1:07.59. Third place, the time of 1:10.32. We are now in event number 21. The girls 100-yard breaststroke. We have Abigail Edwards, Kamaria Green, Mia Ruggiero, Phoebe Liu, and Gillian Gougre.
Event 21, girls 100-yard breaststroke. Lane 2, Abigail Edwards. Lane 3, Kamaria Green. Lane 4, Mia Ruggiero. Lane 5, Phoebe Liu. Lane 6, Gillian Gougre.
Here he goes for Giro. Again, leader of this pack. Again, Ruggiero gives herself a nice little lead here. Always wondered what goes through the mind of a swimmer as they get towards that last lap. I feel like Mia must be thinking in her head, should I slow it down, give him a chance? Man, oh man. She comes down the home stretch and looks to take this one. And Ruggiero, bada bing, bada boom. First place. Closely being followed in second. That will be Edwards. Now third place. A little bit contested here as we have two Cheltenham swimmers closely followed by Gougre of Plymouth Whitemarsh. I believe lane 5 of Cheltenham will take this one. And she will. So times are as follows for the podiums. First place at the time of 1:11.08. Second place at the time of 1:21.19. And third place at the time of 1:37.16. We'll now go to the boys. The boys 100-yard breaststroke. Eli Harmon Edwards, Alexander Williamson, Eli Kaufman, Tom Manley, Aiden Frankenberg, and of course in lane 6, Kamani Kenyon Dewey, aka K Money.
Lane 5, Aiden Frankenberg, and lane 6, Kamani Kenyon Dewey.
Here we go. Cheltenham with a slight early edge here. Again, that is Aiden Frankenberg. Closely in pursuit in lane 4. That is Tom Manley. Again, Manley does have an opportunity to close the gap here, but he needs a very nice push off at this wall. Again, still anybody's race here with Manley and Frankenberg. Frankenberg starting to kick it up, though. Manley's going to have to also follow him and kicking it up. And again, pushing off this back wall will be the crucial part of this race. Frankenberg getting exactly what he wanted there on the money. Manley is going to really have to hotly pursue him if he wants any chance of being able to catch up. And again, I just think Frankenberg really swam his race there, and he will take this one. Colonial will be able to get a second place podium finish, though. Now third place, I believe we will see lane 2 for the Colonials. That is Alexander Williamson. And he will take that. Times are as follows. For first place, 1:05.74. Second place, 1:08.88. And third place, 1:19.83. We have the final two events. Girls 400-yard freestyle relay. Lane 2 of Olivia Giambavo, Kate Edwards, Lexus Duffy, Jules Tulio. Lane 3, Fiona McCann, Grace Darling, Phoebe Liu, Bethany Rutkowski. Lane 4, Lucy Sullivan, Sam Suchlin, Carmen Miramontes, Charlie Tulio. And lane 6, Kaylee Gibness, Casey Blake, Jesse Kaplan, and Melissa Eli.
Lane 2, Olivia Giambavo, Kate Edwards, Alexis Duffy, and Jules Tulio. Lane 3, Fiona McMahon, Grace Darling, Phoebe Liu, and Bethany Arm. Lane 4, Lucy Sullivan, Sam Suchlin, Carmen Miramontes, and Charlie Tulio. And lane 6, Kaylee Javinish, Casey Blake, Jesse Kaplan, and Melissa Ely.
Only one lane here for Cheltenham. And again, I love my play on words. We have 3 people in a Colonial competition. But Cheltenham is leading early on here. Again, that is Fiona McCann leading the pack. Closely followed by Olivia Giambalvo and Lucy Sullivan. Also in lane 6, Kaylee Gimnish moving at ease. Very nice start here for Cheltenham by McCann. Now, mind you, we do have coming up Jules Tulio and Charlie Tulio on the final legs for the Colonials. So we've seen crazier today even with being able to close some gaps, but Cheltenham doing their best to make that not repeat. Second leg of Cheltenham, that is Grace Darling. Pursuing her is Kate Edwards and Sam Suchlin. An event like this, some of these swimmers swimming their 4th event. Such a long day. Goodness, I would be done after 1. Colonials closing the gap a little bit here. That is Edwards trying to catch up with Darling. Here we go, folks. It's getting a little bit tighter here as Edwards and Darling. Big handoff here for the Colonials to senior Lexus Duffy. Here we go. Duffy trying to close the gap. She gets a fantastic dip in the water there. As it is now anyone's race here between lane 2 and 3. Duffy really putting her heart out there in the pool. Duffy now starting to pull away with the lead here for the Colonials. Duffy really showing that senior tenure here as she is not allowing Cheltenham to get any gain here. Exactly what you wanted to see the Colonials if they wanted to take this relay. And so far, I mean, folks, they are now starting to catch up and take a pretty wide lead here. They got Duffy will be giving it to Jules Tulio. So a lot of speed there out of that relay. Jules Tulio now getting set for a very important handoff here. Here we go as Jules now gets into the pool. Jules moving pretty quickly, just like her sister, as the lead is pretty wide here for that second lane. But now, of course, we have Charlie Tulio trying to catch up with Cheltenham as she is just flying. She might even try to catch up with her sister at this pace she's going. Holy Toledo. Jules Tulio will take first place here, but now Charlie, again, just gliding through. I don't know, folks. We'll see here with this Tulio versus Tulio matchup. She could be able to catch up with her sister. Again, Charlie did 4 events today, looking as if she's done none. Jules moving through the pool. Now, Charlie really does something we've never seen before. She might be able to take first, but I believe Jules will, and Jules will take first. And in the 6th lane, taking third, and the 2nd lane, I'm sorry, 6th lane taking second, and the 3rd lane taking 4th. So the times are as follows. First place, 4:04.52. Second place, 4:24.20. And 3, 4:26.72. Now we are at the last event of the day. In lane 2, we have Brett Keenan, Joe Fazio, Jimmy Ryan, Ethan Bayline. Lane 3, Aiden Frankenberg, Anthony Feeney, Ben Lee, Damien Gelger. Lane 4, Caleb Kelly, Cameron Hyun, Riley Coyle, Niles Rankin. Lane 6, Joe Armstrong, Kenny Cutler, RJ Carbone, and Ben Tavori. Wow, Kelly absolutely flies there, and he has given his relay a very generous start. If you put Kelly versus a shark, I don't know who would win. We're talking maybe a blue shark even. If you didn't know, that's the fastest shark. Cheltenham following closely in second. Again, that is Aiden Frankenberg. Kelly will hand it off to Cameron Hyun. Cameron moving on a mission. Second place here for Cheltenham, pretty close. In third place, very close. Again, that is Joe Fazio and Anthony Feeney. But Hyun doing his thing. He looks to have a nice handoff with Coyle here. Colonial now pulling away in second place. We now have Riley Coyle leading the pack as he's trying to lap his fellow competitors in this relay. Quickly would like to thank all on crew today, as we have both Lucas and Justice Soa, as well as Aaron Chun on camera, and our executive producer, Mr. Peeler. It's such a fantastic group to work with in covering all of these great sporting events here at Colonial. Coyle looking for a nice handoff here with Rankin to all but put this one away. Rankin now flying. I think he wants to get out of here as badly as everybody else does, as he is just flying. Showing that senior speed. I believe that last relay will lap the other relays here. Niles flying. Second place here we have Ethan Bayline for the Colonials, looking to try to get second. And Rankin making it look easy. Colonial will take first in this event with ease. Now we'll see a second place finish for lane 2. Ethan Bayline. He is being followed by Damien Gougre. Again, Colonial just trying to hold on to that second place. But Gelger doesn't want that, as Gelger now closing the gap. Gelger pulls ahead. Oh my goodness, and they will take second there. Wow. Last minute change there as Gelger is able to close the gap on Bayline. Wow, what a close finish there. Folks, that will conclude us for this action of swimming. We'll now have an interview shortly with none other than Charlie Tulio. So we will see you back shortly. Alrighty, folks. So I'm here with Charlie Tulio. You swam 4 events today. Are you feeling tired?
Yes, very. Especially with we're having some hard practices before we do our taper for Suburbans.
So definitely, it only gets harder from here, right?
Yes.
So Charlie, you've been having a great season as always. What really is your mindset going into every year and being able to be such an effective swimmer?
Just trying to overcome yourself, because swimming is all about your mind, because if you tell yourself you're having a bad day, then you're not going to perform well. But if you go in, you're all right, today wasn't well, but I'm going to try my best, I'm going to swim all out, and you're just going to give it your all, then you're going to get the time that you want, no matter what.
There we go. So tell me, what's it like being on a team, having a sibling, obviously, with Jules?
We have some competition, but it's not I'm better beat you or I'm bad. It's fun competition. The last race that we just swam, she was so far, her relay was so far ahead, I was I'm gonna get you, and we had a fun banter going, but she was able to close the lead for her relay.
There you go. Speaking of closing leads, on that one relay, it seemed almost impossible for you guys to catch up with Cheltenham. Somehow you closed the gap. Tell me, what's going in your mind when you have a relay that you're that far behind and being able to catch up?
Well, being the anchor of a relay, you just want to give it your all and get the best place that you can for your relay. So when I saw the girls coming in ahead of ours, I was just I can get them, I can get them, I can get them, and I dove in and got them.
There you go. And I guess we'll leave it with a final kind of easier question. What's the diet of a swim athlete like? Because, I know it's got to be hard doing an event like that.
I don't have a diet. I go home after practice. I just eat. During the day here at school, my lunch is gone before lunch. So you just kind of eat whatever's in sight.
Eat whatever is in sight, folks. And is there any message for the people at home?
Love you. Love you all. Thanks for the support, guys.
There you go, folks. Charlie Tulio, thank you so much for coming out. And again, fantastic event here, as I believe Colonial took another victory. That is all for this production. Take care.